I'm live. Hey, people. So it's Jules Plus Vegan, just checking in. What's up, y'all? I just want to check in. I was thinking, a couple of things when we're feeling insecure. And of course, as always, I'm talking to myself, right? About what our calling is or whether we're the person who should be doing whatever it is. I always go back to, if not you, who? Like, honestly, when we're wondering why so and so didn't do it and why they didn't, why they didn't, well, they might be you. Are you the one called to actually be doing that? So, if not who, you. Another one that I always think about is, if not now, when? If you're not gonna do it right now, when are you gonna do it? Like, is there a tomorrow? Tomorrow's not promised, right? So, again, something that we actually have to do now. Annie Beard, yay! I'm just talking about the importance of realizing that we are all called to whatever. So, like, if you're wondering who the person is, there's a good chance it's you? And also the idea of not giving up before the miracle. It's so important. I often think about in my life, God appears. He loves suspense. I think if he was a writer, he'd be a suspense novelist, okay? Because honestly, he tends to wait until the 11th hour, 11 hour, 59 minutes and 59 seconds when I am absolutely flipping out. And then I go, oh, there you are, Father. Thanks so much. Nothing like pulling it out at the last minute. And I kind of tease him and say, thanks for pulling the Hail Mary. But God is so good. And I just was thinking, I just watched a really fantastic story about Miss America. And she was African American. And she was just a 19-year-old in a Target store, and this white chick was looking at her and really bugging. And she's just like, what is that lady's problem? And then the lady came up and asked her a bunch of questions. And she was like, are you married? And how old are you? And la la la. And the girl was just like, out of my face, lady, like back down. And it turned out that she was a pageant um, recruiter. She'd go around the country looking for beautiful girls to potentially recruit them for pageants. And she wanted this girl, and this girl was like, whatever. I was bullied as a kid. I'm super skinny. No one's going to pick me for any pageant. I don't even wear dresses. I'm an ROTC recruit person, and this isn't my gig. And the girl's like, no, I really see something in you, and I believe it is. Well, incredibly, for the next 6 years, she did pageants to no avail. She kept coming up on like Miss America and all the pageants that lead up to that. And she fell short every single time. And in that sixth year, the pageant person, whom she of course knew and got her into it to begin with, and they'd check in on occasionally. This girl ended up running for Miss DC. She was going to be USA representing the District of Columbia. And she went ahead and wrote to this friend on Facebook to say, hey, come see me. And the friend had died. And it said rest in peace all over her Facebook page. And this girl was tripping. She's just like, are you kidding me? I mean, I know we haven't talked for a few months, but how did I not know? Well, nothing in their lives actually connected them but this opportunity. And so the girl cried about it and was going to give up. And then finally it was kind of like, I'll just try one more time because she kept saying she believed in me. I'll just try one more time. I mean, what if this is the time? And that goes back to not quitting before the miracle. Is there a chance you're quitting right before it's your time? And so this girl did go back for a seventh time, and she actually was first runner up to Miss Hawaii. And she was like, you know what, Father? That's enough. You're amazing. I'm so stoked to be first runner up. But they called her name. She wasn't first runner up. She was Miss America representing the District of Columbia, which was so beautiful. And her family was all in there. And I'll share the link for that video. It was so brilliant. And, she didn't quit before the miracle. And it just went back to, if not you, who? And she kept saying that, during that pageant. Why not me? Absolutely, right? And when we're waiting to get on it with our lives, if not now, when? I've been going through a lot of things right now. Hi. Uh, People, do you see my Invisalign? I have to do a sidebar. I am allergic to these Invisalign. That's what I decided. I'm allergic to them. That's why my mouth is inflamed all the time. I don't recommend having plastic in your mouth for months at a time, but I don't know what I'm going to do about it yet. But as I'm tripping over this, I want to talk and say hey to you guys. But yeah, um, sometimes we do have to wait. But that goes back to heaven, right, Annie? On how heaven isn't on our time. They always say 1,000 years in heaven, maybe a moment here, maybe 1,000 years in heaven. We can't get our head around it. But if we kind of remember that time is a human invention, right? Like all of existence, they even say that existence is running on parallel planes. It's so interesting that the present, the future, and the past are all running on equal planes. And I think that's incredible. And for me, that totally explains why I have such a sense that I'm only a breath away from my people who are in heaven, right? Because of that whole parallel plane that they really are just going about their business, one realm away, and that we are connected in that way. But yes, this girl dared to hold on for the miracle. And for me, I'm kind of in transition right now. And I've kind of been expressing that right on Jules Best Vegan, saying, I don't know if I can do videos every single day. And of course, ironically, I'm doing them every day again. But there's a couple of things in my life where I'm like, is this working for me anymore? Do I have to be in so many groups? I do want to be all things to all people, but God is calling me to something right now. And it's like, if not now, when? If not you, who? Are you going to wait for the miracle? Happy to be Taylor. Yay. We're talking about, yeah, the importance of realizing that everybody is called to something great, everybody. And that when you're doubting whether you're that person, you are that person. It's just the understanding of what it is that you're called to, right? And you know me, I'm a prayer person. So I was praying about the gifts of the Spirit. And sometimes people have the gift of tongues. Well, I'm a chakra to be sure, but I don't have the gift of tongues. Like that whole babble thing. Yeah, no. But one thing that I have, and it's not being arrogant, is the gift of wisdom. And what I mean by that is that when people are talking and sharing and things with me, I very wisely, above my years, and most certainly straight from God, am able to address or talk on exactly what it is that they're needing in that moment. And I recognize right away that it's outside of me. And that's a gift I will take all day. I am certain I have the gift of wisdom. Some people used to call me a cheerleader for Christ. I am all in for being a cheerleader for Christ. Like that joy and promotion, I'm all in. But I do see with the COVID and everything else that some of us have had to reinvent ourselves, most certainly, and trying to get a grip on what it is that we are also called to contribute to. And you missed it, Taylor, but I was giving a talk about a Miss America who happened to be African American. And I don't think that's necessarily why she literally went for it 7 years in a row and didn't get it. There's no doubt there's a ton of white chicks in Miss America pageants. This girl was phenomenal, but part of it was her own esteem. Like the radiance that the person who was a promoter of pageants saw in her as a 19-year-old cashier at Target was something she didn't own for herself. She'd been bullied as a kid. She wasn't comfortable with that. She didn't know she was beautiful. But this woman, who happened to be white as well, did see it and did know it. And finally, I think it took 7 years for this girl to own that inner to match the outer. And when it did, no one could have said no. No one. They had no choice but to pick her, right? Oh my gosh, District of Columbia, Miss USA, they had no choice. Yes, Miss Hawaii was gorgeous. There were other beautiful women there, but this girl in that moment, if not now, when? If not who? If not you, who? In that moment, she absolutely was all she could be for the world, and no one could deny it. Anyway, that's all, you guys. It's my lunch recess, but oh, I've got that. I love that idea. Like one of me will be like, oh yeah, I do. I've got that in spades, but there's a brokenness here that is coming. I will wait for that brokenness to hit that peak where the world cannot deny Jules Plus Vegan's got it going on, and I've got a purpose, right? Thank you for that shout out. I mean it. I need that. Anyway, though, I'm happy to say that I'm completely clean in my eating, that in the revelation of choosing to care for myself, life is asking more of me and will reveal what that purpose is. So I'm stoked you guys were here. I hope you could relate to the talk. I'm going to make the link for that Miss USA. It's a beautiful story, about 8.5 minutes. And I'm going to take my infected mouth. Let me just say one more thing about the Invisalign. What's distressing to me is that even though they recognize there's certain ways to be allergic to Invisalign, and it's everything from an inflamed mouth, which I most certainly have, and a couple of other things in the irritation and stuff like that. It also says that you can't prove it. Like there's no way you can prove it, and they're not going to do anything about it. And so it's up to me. But unfortunately, I already am in a commitment to paying for these no matter what, and I don't want to stop my teeth halfway. So I may have to pay on top of everything else for traditional braces. But God is bigger, and I'm already putting it out there. Father, I'm looking for mercy here. Have these people work with me. But if not, my hotness is already in progress, and I'm going to have to get traditional braces for 8 months. All right, girls. High five, virtual high five. I got to get back to my students. Thanks for saying hi. And until we talk again, best of all, know that you are blessed, absolutely blessed.